and to be amongst friends that believe what I believe, which is a very simple concept, that building relationships brings jobs. That's it. I can go down now and be done. If you get nothing more out of what I'm going to share with you, based on the information and facts that we have learned, I can tell you that I would have not done my job. So here we go. CAPC is a nonprofit organization. We've been in business 30 years. We assist people to find jobs and also to move out on their own, both things that we all do on a daily basis and believe in to have happen. Over the course of the year, of the 30 years that we've been there, I've been there 28. So I'm honored. I started off as a job developer and a teacher and many other things. But through the course of it, one of the things I learned from somebody pretty special, if I can share that with you. This is a picture of Bonnie Wagey. She is a owner, past president of the Whittier Chamber, and has more partnerships of signs on her wall, and was also an employer for us for one of our individuals. She owns a printing company. And I went to her trying to connect with my old philosophy of where you saw help wanted signs or you went cold calling and you went in and you talked to business people. I say that was my old approach. I did it for a number of years and was not very successful. But Bonnie, because she was nice enough and answered my question for me, I said, Bonnie, how can you introduce me or will you introduce me to any businesses? And she was very blunt with me and she said, Carolyn, you need to get out of your desk, away from your office, and you need to go be with the people. So the first thing she suggested for us to do, we are members of 6 chambers of commerce currently within our areas. But she told me, you're members of these chambers, but you don't do anything within them. You might go to a mixer or a breakfast, but you're not active. So I want to let you know the word active means you have to give of your time, you need to give of your energy, and you need to give your passion to what you believe in. To who? The business community. That's who's going to be there. So Bonnie, this is a picture that was taken this year where more than 400 to 500 people came to an event we hosted, which was a mixer. And Bonnie was one of our major sponsors for that event. But it went full circle because this was quite a few years ago when she had given me that advice. So what you see next, yes, that's me. You're going to see a lot of me because I'm talking about how I did it for our company, but our company continues to follow this same process. So what you see in these 3 slides are ways that we became active. My first club or committee that I joined within the chamber was the golf committee. I don't play golf, so I'm going to tell you that right off the bat. But I met more business people by going and being on the golf committee, and the day of the golf tournaments, I interacted with what type of people? Business owners, right? These are the people, and guess what? I needed to learn, if you want to be with business people who are hiring people, they like to be out and about, and they definitely like to play golf. So you might say, well, Carolyn, if you didn't golf, how'd you make those connections with them? So what you see in the other slides are we were a refreshment sponsor where we served nachos. People want food, so they came to us, and while they were there, they would ask us what we did. And then off to the right, we became sponsors throughout the years because it was really important for us to be able to be recognized and visible, not that we were this local nonprofit, but because we were community partners trying to make a difference within the community. Okay, so now you're going to see some more funny pictures of me. One of the other things that I want to share with you is that it's really important that we step out of our comfort zones. I wore the 3-piece suit. I matched with, all the business people at meetings, but when it was time for us to do community involvement, CAPC made a conscious effort as employees to stand out and promote whatever was happening within the community events. So on the left, we had a bowling team for Cosmic Pin Party. On the right, we were Teletubbies for a mini golf that helped a scholarship fund. And on the bottom, let me remember, yes, that's me in the firecracker. That was a business expo in Santa Fe Springs in which we won first place for taking the time to really theme out what they were trying to promote, which was if you hire people within the community amongst each other, you will really have a bomb of a good success. So we won that award, but you might say, Carolyn, seriously, our companies or businesses that we're affiliated with, I could never get people to do that. That's okay. Show up, be active, but you will have to spend money by sponsoring and volunteering. But what you're showing the employers that you're with is that you're as equal to them in giving of your time. And those employers that are giving of their time will be the ones that will match your value as well. So this is one for anybody that's in the office knows that I continue to work on a daily, hour, and minute basis. One thing that I learned really early when I started to really be involved in the community was employers have a lot to tell us if we would just stop talking. And that we really need to listen to them. And the way we do that is by having opportunities and relationships built within these opportunities within the community. So at the golf tournaments, at board meetings, all the various events that we became partners in and were asked to sit on around the table with, I began to start asking employers questions, not about, are you hiring, but tell me some things about your business. I have a list of them if you want them after that I brought for you, but also personal questions that could tell you a little bit more about them as people, but also about them as the company itself. There's our partners, and they're not all there. So I'm going to tell you, if you have to leave, this is the answer to tell you that this approach works. We did not have these partners when I went cold calling and went after the job opening signs that were on the window. We got these partnerships when myself and others built relationships with community partners that are employers, and they wanted to ask us how can they get involved, but also would tell us when there were opportunities that they knew of in our community for people that were trying to hire someone for a job. The other disclosure I'd want to tell you is more often than getting jobs for our people, I referred employers to other people and they hired them. And you might say, okay, Carolyn, now this really doesn't make sense. So let's take, I'm trying to find one that would be easy to share with you. Maybe it would be the Lions Club, and you might say, well, did they hire? No, they give us money. But the Lions Club, some members that are business people, somebody was looking for an accountant, and I happened to know a couple. I referred them, and 2 years later, they ended up giving us more money because we took the time to make that connection for them. Again, a different approach than our industry is used to. So the best example I can give you of how this really has worked recently for us is with a partnership with Shaw Industries. They are the largest carpet manufacturer in the world. They have a plant in Santa Fe Springs, which is the neighboring city of where our home base of Whittier is. And I serve on the board with a wonderful man who's their director of manufacturing, Jim Cusick. And Jim, wave your hand, you're in the house. And within that, I want to take it full circle of what I've just told you on how it works. Jim and I met about 5 years ago at events. I then sat on the board of directors with him for the Santa Fe Springs Chamber of Commerce. And during that time, we did things like go to a retreat together, do team building exercises, sit on committees right next to each other with scholarship funds, city issues, all of which I would have never been privy to for our business to know the growth that's coming out of the community. But right next to me is the person I'm getting to know personally. Now, full circle to that time, Shaw, the company itself already matched our values of believing in their people. Along everything, as I found out about Jim, was the fact that they really believe in investing in their people first and everything else becomes successful. Well, these are 3 current employees that came through CAPC to the HR department and to Jim, and they were hired directly from Shaw Industries. The reason why I have all the different organizations around is because we as an agency had to believe that these partnerships would eventually make sense. And this is a perfect example of everything that on the top is Shaw and CAPC, but all around are things I did with Jim in committees, dressing up sometimes silly, you name it. But all of those different organizations or partnerships really did make a difference. But this is the best part about what I want you to take away from this piece. I didn't ask Jim ever if Shaw was hiring. True story, Jim? And in fact, I heard this morning, because he presented to potential employers, and he was a presenter today, that He actually didn't really know what I did for a living for quite some time. Why? Because I was listening and asking questions. I wasn't walking in the door, by the way, are you hiring? So it was 2 years after we had really started talking a lot about our businesses and what have you, that when he called me, I said, sure, I think we might have some people. We went out to the plant, and what we found was this was a company that any of you would want to do business with. We're just fortunate enough that by building that relationship, we were able to. The other thing with these 3 gentlemen that I'm really proud to announce today is that starting next Monday, 2 of them will be promoted to full-time positions, and they will also receive a raise, and they will also receive full benefits. Now, here's the thing about our field. Yes, yes. The most exciting part for me is that those guys will make more money than some of our own employees in our own agency per hour. When I mentioned that to Jim, and he was like, okay. I said, you know what, if you're in our business to really make a difference, success for us is knowing that people are being paid prevailing wage and more. So Jim, after this morning, we've already had lunch together and we're talking about bigger plans. All because, guys, we took the time to build a relationship out in the community. I challenge you, we have to make it change. The next slide is about our government officials. Being active in your community, whether it's other nonprofit you want to support, like Relay for Life, or any of the options within the Chamber of Commerce. The other piece is you get direct access to leaders that bring about our change. Far left is Supervisor Don Kanabe from our county. And may I tell you, he is a major donor to our organization, but he also talks with us about transportation issues, about jobs, and he invites us to the table because we have shown that we are his partner. Congressman Linda Sanchez recently had a woman in leadership right across the bay here and came up to me and said, you know, I want to have further conversations about employment for people with disabilities. This isn't just about CAPC, this is about all of our people. And then on the bottom is a shot of one of our local chambers of commerce, and that's the city council, the mayor, some of the council people. If you notice in these pictures, one of the things that my family told me when I showed it to them was, Mom, you go to a lot of social events. And I said, I do. And one of the things that I do is that I don't work typical hours. So I challenge you to think outside the way you're doing business right now, sitting behind your desk. I know you all work hard, or doing that cold calling. You will not have this kind of opportunity unless you're volunteering and playing an active role. The next 3 slides really show about how you're caring about your community. And if you're a nonprofit or for-profit assisting people with employment, going to other events are where those employers are also contributing. Those are the employers you want, you guys. Those are the ones. They already believe in giving back. They already believe in making the place a better place. So these 3 ones are just a basic networking event that I am to the left. The right one is the Presbyterian PIH Health Hospital, top 3% hospital in the United States. Those are all the decision-making women of that hospital. We're on a dance floor. I will tell you, there's things happening. I couldn't report today, but we will have jobs there now because of, yes, I was dancing. It was a Rio de Janeiro theme. And on the very bottom is a group of people that are connected to the chamber where we just celebrated 100 years. Why? We have to celebrate with people. You cannot ask without giving first. I'm just telling you, it doesn't feel right. We don't like it when it's done to us. Let's not do it to our employers. This approach does not come without a great deal of time. I have wonderful people that work at CAPC and they wonder, what in the world, where is she? What is she doing? I happen to get the honor of being the leader of that organization, but I couldn't do it without knowing that people around me believe that this is the approach that we need. So they utilize me as that liaison for them to say, Carolyn, we're looking for this. Okay, I'm on it, and I'm out there because I've already built those long-lasting relationships and building more. 2 other shots. Sometimes it takes me further than in my local community. Tim Salmon Golf Tournament was in Dove Canyon, and the one down here, we were walking a local track for the Relay for Life for Cancer. You may say, seriously? That was on a Saturday, that was on a Monday, but guess what? I was walking with people that believe in giving back. Again, mirrored values with our employers. Those are the ones that you won't have to ask for jobs. They're gonna want to do business with you. So here's the mighty superhero leaders in my life. These are the team, and you might know some of them. This is the team that when we don't always put our capes on, but we have our capes in our office, that we do acknowledge the fact that this takes hard work. But what I will ask you as you think about right now, the old way we used to do things, and if you're still doing it that way, you're a superhero trying to do that with just not getting the right results. And this particular team allows me to go out, do my work of trying to make those connections for them. And they do it too, with the result that at the end of the day, all of these people, that staff and individuals, it's not our entire group of people, but that particular group of people will not only have a better life, but they're going to surpass our expectations of what we can do. What I really want to hope as I leave you is that you feel a sense of, okay, we could do this. Come see me, come see anybody that's connected to us, come see Jim and ask him, how was it? When Jim gave his talk this morning, he was like, I don't know why they're making this such a big deal. And I said, because we've approached it in the wrong way for many, many years. Now the time for us is really to look at the Jim Cusicks from Shaw Industries or any other company, and it can be a mom and pop. But I ask you, don't make the question to them, are you hiring? Make it so that they're very comfortable about wanting to ask you, how can I get connected with your organization? We can do it. I look forward to coming back and being a participant as a guest in this audience and many more saying, Carolyn, you know what? We sort of applied that idea and it really, you're gonna be amazed. It's like, okay, it's not that difficult. So my last bit of challenge is for you to leave here, go back to your companies, and absolutely challenge yourself to join one organization, club, committee within the chamber or any other within the community and watch how it makes a difference. Thank you.